What's the command? Plus the voice record. Hello and welcome to RD2L Season 22 Turdburglars vs. Ape Dota United. I am Knifefan, joined tonight by Pip-Boy.
Hello, that's me. I'm Pip. What's up?
And we have a pair of games coming in tonight. Roughly a Divine 1 to 3 average for all those. Excuse me. For all those who take that into consideration as they're choosing what to watch and what to spend their time on. And we have some bans and picks already out here. Pip, what do you think so far?
Well, I like Ape Dota's starting pick because it's something you can run in any lane, and I don't like Turdburglars' pick. Okay, never mind. I'm immediately... everything's flipping. So the reason I like Puck is because you can run him in different lanes, and it's the hero's in a good place right now, generally speaking. I don't like Spirit Breaker, the hero. I think he's slow and wonky. Obviously, he has a few strengths, but I don't think it scales very well. Obviously, when you pick that hero, you're aiming for like a good early to mid game. But the hero feigns initiation. Like if you pick that hero, you probably like a lot of teams will just falsely think that hero's an initiator, but it's very easily countered going later into the game and the pickup of like one item on a support or one item on a core. Which is why I don't really like that hero. He's kind of clunky. And for Turdburglars, I don't like the Underlord straight out of the gate because Underlord is actually kind of a greedy hero, and it's actually extraordinarily easy to counter in lane. A competent team will just pick a hero to completely punish that hero. The reason we have a dual lane patch is because you want to have your 3 and your 4 win that lane. That's the entire goal, but or just get like a lot out of that lane. But if you just pick a counter, let's say like Monkey King, Ursa, which is banned, Razor, anything like that, then I think it's just like not great. Underlord's a hero for second phase for sure, maybe even third phase, but I think first phase is extraordinarily greedy.
Do you think that Ape Dota's picks so far have punished that sufficiently? Or did Turdburglars get away with it?
Oh yeah, not at all. We have to see what the 1, I guess, and the 5 are gonna do. But I think it would be really intuitive if the Underlord actually isn't a 3 at all, because that would actually be an interesting pick. Because then Ape Dota might overcommit into punishing the Underlord, and then Underlord, well, actually he's like a 4 or something like that, or maybe he's mid. Like that would be interesting. I think that would be interesting.
What would be the punishment of a 3 Underlord that would not punish a 2 Underlord similarly? Like lane punishment?
Yeah, it's like lane punishment. But yeah, that's a good point. I suppose if you run the Underlord mid, you can just run whatever hero you wanted to run as 1 into mid, but it does kind of complicate the game a little bit when you have your 1 position in the mid. He's kind of susceptible to ganks. But yeah, that could work. That could 100% work, like a Monkey King mid versus the Underlord, if that's a thing. But it like what I'm trying to say is that Underlord is from this draft, like you wouldn't run Underlord as mid typically, so you're going to draft around that, and so you're going to try and draft to punish the Underlord. And so if you actually run a mid, then it's going to kind of change things up. And let's say Turdburglars, Turdburglars picks up a let's say like a really active 4, like an Earth Spirit, a Tusk, something like that roams mid a lot and like actually kills that core. That would be extremely smart. And here's the Monkey King, so that's like a great pick because wherever the Underlord goes, the Monkey King can just follow, and then the lanes will adjust. And there's also both the supports are already picked on Turdburglars, so neither of them are really a ganking hero. I suppose you could. I mean, I suppose you could qualify them as ganking heroes. Shadow Shaman, both of their ranges are very short. The reason I said specifically like Tusk and Earth Spirit is because they can initiate from far away. Even like a Marana or something like that would actually be really cool. But there's plenty of answers for Spirit Breaker, which is why I really don't like actually every hero on Turdburglars just answers Spirit Breaker. I don't like the Spirit Breaker pick at all. I'm sorry. I just don't like that hero.
So what if the Spirit Breaker, I mean, we expect Spirit Breaker to be a 4, right?
Yeah.
What if the Spirit Breaker had a higher position? Would that still hold true? I know that earlier today Hexy was trying, no, not Hexy, Another friend of mine was trying to play a pause one Spirit Breaker, and we did win that game. I don't think the pause one Spirit Breaker was the reason for it, but is there something I'm not seeing to it?
Well, the reason. Oh, hold on one moment here. Oh yeah, okay. Sorry. Anyway, something crazy happened in my game. But so running like a one position Spirit Breaker, that gives you a strong lane, but it doesn't give you scaling.
Mm-hmm.
So if the scaling is in another place, or if you can win the game in like the allotted time where you're strong, then sure it could be fine. But just like any other hero could be fine,
Mm-hmm.
like any strong laner, you could run Undying one for the tombstone,
Undying? Is that what you
right?
said?
Right. Like yeah, yeah, you could go Undying. Let's say they have a lot of strength heroes, and you build Ags Undying. Maybe that's good. But you lack a lot of, you lack tower damage, you lack scaling, and it's just kind of clunky. It doesn't really work too nicely. But if it's in another role, let's say like there's a Medusa mid, let's say there's a really greedy offlane hero, insert hero name that's greedy. Then sure it's fine. But just like any other hero in the one position role would be fine if there's another role doing the farming.
Okay. So with the Monkey King and the Puck picked up, we assume that's probably relatively flex, but those are the two cores. For Turdburglars, we're taking Underlord and Wraith King as the cores. Looks like extended fights favor Turdburglars, right? Um, and how are Ape Dota United then going to pick a hero here that'll help them either extend their fights or play better extended fights, or burst through all of this HP that's showing on Turdburglars?
I don't think the extended fight for Ape is that bad solely from the. Actually, yeah, I don't think their extended fight is bad at all. You have Monkey King, you have Monkey King Ultimate, which lasts a decent amount of time. You have Grimstroke Ultimate. Heroes are going to be silenced. Um, I'm okay. So what kind of hero would I want? It's kind of weird because the way Ape Dota's draft is kind of oriented around, they have kind of these squishy-esque heroes. I kind of qualify Monkey King as squishy, Puck
Mm-hmm.
and Grimstroke are squishy. So yeah, if they take extended fights, they're obviously not going to go well for him. I don't think a hero in their draft is really going to solve that, or I don't think they should draft in a way that they want to match the extended fight of Turdburglars. You don't
Okay.
have to play like one specific way. So if they have burst damage, or if they want to take very short fights, they just have to um, probably utilize smokes really well and focus the right heroes in fights, or getting even like casters out of Turburglars would be really good. So they go Huskar here. Um, it's kind of that's really rough if it's not a last pick, Huskar, because there's any amount of heroes that Turburglars can pick that can do just fine against the Huskar in lane, and if Huskar doesn't do good in lane, then what's the point of that hero?
One point of note, I don't know whether Turdburglars are aware of this, but that's almost certainly a safe lane Huskar. That is a Hexy special, and he's the pause one, I believe, for this team.
Yeah, that would work fine. So I mean, Huskar and Monkey King both punish the Underlord sufficiently, so I have no problem with where they lane it. Actually, if we're going that far, we might as well just put the Puck mid and send the Monkey King to offlane. I think that would be strong as well. They have a lot of options here, but we won't know until Turburglars picks their last hero what's going to happen. Turburglars, their draft seems very kind of tanky and stable, but really it isn't. They require a lot of items and farm for all their heroes, and Ape Dota actually drafted like very strong lanes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even with the Spirit Breaker, it's fine. Like if you're picking Spirit Breaker just like for the same reason you pick an Undying, just to win the lanes and try and scale from there. I think Viper's a good pick. That's probably what I would have picked as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can send the Viper versus pretty much anyone on Ape Dota. I think Puck probably is the best time versus Viper.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it makes it so that the laning phase is going to be a little bit less straightforward for Ape Dota. Whatever plan. Well, I actually like Ape Dota's draft because they can kind of go. It's very you can transform it in any way you would like. We don't know anything looking at the draft right now about what they're going to do, but the one thing we do know is that their initiation, wherever it's coming from, or wherever position Puck is going to go, it's going to have to be Puck, because none of these other heroes really initiate well. I don't think Spirit Breaker does it really at all past laning phase and maybe early mid game. Whereas Turdburglars has kind of like a very safe and steady draft where Wraith King can initiate, Underlord can. They have stuns on all their heroes except Viper. They have decent amount of potential to K. I think the story of the game is going to be for Ape Dota just how well Huskar does, and if Huskar isn't really able to do well, they're really not going to have a competent initiator moving into the mid game, and I think Turd Burglars will just win from there. That's probably the story. So if Huskar has a good a good time laning and has a strong start and starts the scaling process, I think they're going to win their lanes just fine, or do well in their lanes rather, and they should be able to transition that to a one game, hopefully.
All right. Well, we'll see if that is how the execution goes through. Everyone picked about 30 seconds ago, so we should be into the game very shortly. Here we are. And the beefy boy Underlord. That's... Oh, no, that's 3,000 games all time. I was like, does that guy have 3,000 games on Underlord? Jesus.
What a boring life.
Oh, it's not. There's worse. There's worse, yo. I played against... No, with. Was it with or against? I don't remember whether it was with or against. But I played a game... almost 2 years ago now, I think, where the Dragon Knight player had almost 6,000 games on Dragon Knight. No exaggeration, like almost 6,000 games on Dragon Knight, and overall he had like 7,000 games total. When he couldn't get Dragon Knight, he picked Brood, or there was one other that was generally picked, but usually the Brood.
What triggered in his brain that said early on, Dragon Knight is the only hero I should play?
I have no clue. Idea. It was obscene. We are going to see our positions now. It is going to be Hexy on the mid Huskar here, so I was wrong about the call on the lane there. Top lane, we're going to have... There you are. Monkey King hiding there in the trees, even from the casters. Will be played by whoever is there that I can't see. Who is it? Kevin? Mad Dog playing on the pause 5, Grimstroke.
Oh, he's right there. That's
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah. Verber Jaegerman Jensen, Mr. SpongeBob Special playing on that Underlord pause 3 for the side of Turdburglars. And the pause 4, Little Mermaid playing on the Shadow Shaman. We're going to see this rune fight go out. It looks like it probably is going to be at least 2 for Dire on the bottom. And how's this top one going to go? It will be 2 and 2 overall, it looks like. Good amount of damage onto Snork. Wait. No, it lied to me. Oh no, it is Snork. I just can't see.
There's a bit of a skirmish in the top lane over that rune, and what I've actually kind of failed to recognize here is that Underlord and Shadow Shaman, at least for the early levels, are gonna have a really great time trading hits. The Grimstroke and the Monkey King. It's just a matter of like, can they really put their foot down in the lane and start scaling that into a one lane? I do think with more levels, actually, it's going to get a little bit easier for the Monkey King and Grimstroke, especially if they get any sort of rotation from the 3. It's not going to be the Huskar. Huskar's not a hero that rotates really, or at least he doesn't rotate well without like a great rune. So anything like that, and this lane's going to be really great for the Monkey King. And as I say that, it looks like Shadow Shaman is going to die here.
Shadow Shaman taking his first spill up in top lane. Maybe he's juking around. Did manage to lose the charges at least. Dodges the Stroke of Fate as well. And looks like he will actually live here.
Yeah, he's for sure going to need more regen than that. He's actually aiming for Arcane Boots too, which is actually, I think, pretty greedy. Which means if he's not going Tranquils, then he's going to have to... If he wants to stay in this lane and actually have an impact, he's going to have to delay that Arcane Boots a lot in order to sustain and actually like trade hits with the Grimstroke. The one thing that Grimstroke does have on Shadow Shaman is that he has longer range and probably even a better attack animation, so Shadow Shaman does kind of have to look out.
Shaman taking a fair amount of damage here. One more right click from either player will do it, but he's just that much faster because he did start with those boots, saving his life twice. I do want to go ahead and take a look over here at mid. I think we're not seeing right now where Coher has brought in an extra salve over Hexy. So although he's up in the CS, or similar in the CS and up on the HP, he actually has had to spend more resources on that. I do think it maybe is a little bit of a mistake not to get any points in Corrosive Skin against the Huskar. Just because if he hits you with a Burning Spear, at least level 1, you do more damage to him than he does to you. Opting for the Nether Toxin, I see where he wants to get rid of the Berserker's Blood, but I think, although he's having a good point now, so it's kind of moot. Level 1 and 2 probably would have gone a bit easier if he'd gotten a little bit extra damage out on that.
Well, he just brought 2 mangoes to kind of solve the mana problem from scaling the Nether Toxin and no points in Corrosive, but it looks like he's going to go Corrosive right now. I do agree with you. It's kind of, to have so many mana-intensive abilities on a hero that actually doesn't have the greatest mana pool is kind of weird, especially like within the first 3 levels.
Yeah, and he spent almost 300 gold on regen now, where Hexy's not spent any, and it's still pretty even overall.
Yeah, and he went multiple points in Berserker's Blood. He's actually having a fine time sustaining here, which is actually great.
He's gotta be a little careful. That's probably death. The disarm is nice. Oh, yeah, he dies. That was a little greedy.
I think he got a little frustrated. Viper has the extra range and the slow on him, so he's gonna be like constantly kiting. A little bit of an engage in the top lane. Grimstroke might die.
Grimstroke falling very low, but is able to just stay up there. Was that a Fairy Fire usage?
Hell yeah, it was. I like Fairy Fires on supports. That's
Big
great.
Fairy Fire. So we haven't talked much about this bottom lane yet. It looks pretty stable. Wraith King is top of the CS charts currently, and which one is this 3 down here? It looks like Peacock is the 3, and he is doing pretty well for himself as well. So it looks like maybe both cores getting what they want out of this lane.
Yeah, I really like ranged offlaners, or just like having ranged heroes in the offlane, because you're able to usually trade hits very well. Usually pick a hero that can trade hits, kind of bully the 5 out, and then start kind of harassing the 1 position out of the lane. It becomes very uncomfortable for the 1. So I really like that Puck is a 3 here. He's obviously gonna have a great lane, and his timings might even rival what Puck would get mid. So that I like. Again, I really like what the Dire team did with their draft and how they can kind of run it anyway, and it kind of does very well.
Yeah, bottom lane, a lot of aggression here onto Patch. Looks like they're not quite going to grab him. There is no Orb of Venom on either of these heroes, so he can just walk away.
Yeah, just the... I'm looking at mid. I was looking at the
yeah, mid's a stomp now.
Said. Mid is absolutely a stomp. It's level 6 versus a level 4 Huskar.
Not even that. Huskar... It's the 17 denies. The death, that's part of it, but only 2 creeps, I think, were exchanged, or net exchanged, for that death. But 18 denies really does hurt.
Yep.
Not able to get in close enough to these creeps consistently.
Yeah, we have to see what happens after laning phase for the Huskar. Because Viper is a very comfortable mid laner. Later on, he can just kind of throw his Nether Toxin down, clear the wave, start farming jungle camps.
Top lane, there is an engagement going on. Looks like the Stroke of Fate as well as the Inkswell are both going to hit. Little Mermaid, one more attack, will take him down. Tries to wand out, not going to be enough. He will fall. And that puts Ape Together United. What is it? No. Ape Dota United on the board.
Yeah, that's good. And I think this... So it happened at like 6 minutes, but I'm glad it happened. It should start snowballing very slowly into the direction of Monkey King, in which case I think Radiant probably has to maybe plant another hero in that lane, so that it doesn't become a 1 lane for the Monkey King. But it's I think even a little too late for that.
Yeah, Underlord actually falls up top, but at the same time there's some movement here onto Coair. Not level 6 yet on the Wraith King, sorry, the Hexy, but he is able to get that kill before he falls down. Viper gets the return, but he gets all that nice XP and will hit his level 6.
Yeah, but Monkey King is going to be having a great time this game. It looks like he's... So I see a lot of teams and players just like skip boots and they just go for Valor Fury. I think it's like... I really don't think that's good, personally. I think your farm speed suffers. You're putting all your your entire game plan on getting the... You're becoming a weak hero. Your game plan is, I literally have to get this item and I will not be a hero until I do. Whereas like a phase boots on Monkey King will have such a strong presence in this lane. And let's say if he goes for the Battle Fury, doesn't get boots. They're going on the Monkey King right now. He might even die for this.
I think he's probably fine if he eats through the tree over here. Oh, he's going to turn around. No, he's eating through the tree.
I like that he's mainly player. It looks like actually Huskar died again too in the mid lane.
Yeah, Snork actually is going back here onto Little Mermaid. That's going to be the Hex. There is still a Shackle available. Inkswell out. That stun is going to land, it looks like. Get the full damage as well. 1, 2, 3, and the Q gets him the AoE damage, but it doesn't matter. Mermaid is going to get that grip off and take him down. Mad Dog might even fall too. Werber Jaegerman Jensen going to make sure that he falls all that atrophy around.
Yeah, I think Grimstroke just didn't have the mana to follow up with the rest of his abilities. But that was really good for them. That probably shouldn't happen at all. And now Monkey King has to kind of rethink if he wants to come back to the top lane, because now Underlord has a level advantage. Like I said, it was very even. And every time like one hero gets a kill in that lane, it becomes more and more uneven. Monkey King is just throwing his body at their team.
Yeah, that's a little aggro here. There's still a Shackle, and looks like Little Mermaid is going to be in the right position for it, but however, Mad Dog is already in the area. Now 1, 2, 3. Is he going to get it this time? The extra movement speed from the Inkswell will be enough, and there's going to be the bonus damage and the extra heal coming out. Werber Jaegerman Jensen not going to get silenced, not quite finding that Phantom Embrace in the correct spot. And now Snork, he does finally have that Boundless Strike back up, turns around, gets all the HP back from the creeps. He's going to go up into the trees and come down with a Primal Spring. Werber Jaegerman Jensen, now he's the one running, and Snork on a sliver of HP 3 or 4 times does get both of those kills.
Now the Wraith King's coming top, so he was sufficiently bullied out of the lane, and so he's coming top. I think that's an absolutely fine move, but he cannot play like an aggressive top lane. He's gonna have to probably bail out the triangle here. It looks like he's trying to stay in this lane. Monkey King is very strong against Wraith King.
Yeah, he totally just completely came back to full HP with that Boundless.
Yeah, we just have to. So he doesn't have any mana, so I guess there's not that threat for the Wraith King. But Wraith King does have to play this lane very passively and probably bail out to triangle. I like that they did this lane swap. It makes a lot of sense to me. And actually, Huskar's bottom alone. I think this is a bit of a mistake because they might be able to go on him. Two heroes showing mid. I don't know what the point of this is actually.
Well, I think he just didn't want to be up against that Viper anymore, but now he's got to play up against this, yeah, the Shackle into the Root, into the Firestorm, into the massive Atrophy right clicks. Just not really an easy place to be in. And now Peacock, he was sitting up here in the mid lane. Looks like he is going to get himself out on Puck. I think actually there was a play there. I think if he turned around and Dream Coiled right there, he actually gets the kill while he was under tower.
It's possible. I don't think Huskar's movement to the bottom lane was bad, but I think his team just did not have him backed up. I think the Spearbreaker was just kind of roaming in between mid and top. He was like even roaming through mid under vision. It was really, really bad. And it gave Radiant an opportunity to see that there were no other heroes in that lane, and they just went obviously on the solo Huskar. If Huskar had any sort of
backup, gonna fall here? Tries for the TP. That is that's an optimistic TP there.
Yeah, that was extraordinarily optimistic. Did he even have his charge up? I think he could have even just charged out.
I'm not sure if his charge was available. Sure. I didn't see the cooldown at the time. He had just charged in, so if it was available, it had just come up.
Yeah, and now the lanes are actually, I think, becoming a lot better. So Underlord's lane was a little bit shaky at top, and they just got double killed. So they just decided, let's just swap it. And now Wraith King is doing okay, better than he was doing in bot. He's getting more last hits at least. Now Underlord's in this lane very comfortably in bot, getting his items. So this worked out really good for the Radiant. They're playing their
Tortilla and Mad Dog going here onto Patch, getting a nice combo in with the charge and the Inkswell. And it looks like that will be enough to get the kill out. Oh, not quite. I think they were trying to save him for Monkey King. And that ended up actually meaning that Tortilla is going to be the one to fall. He does get his charge out, so it looks like he will survive. But Ogre here, Patch, not falling. A little greedy, trying to save that kill for Monkey King. Not quite getting it there. And now Koer, he's come up here and take this stack that Monkey King was guarding.
I'm surprised the Viper's actually backing off from that. I think they've already kind of planted their foot in this lane. You see the Monkey King and the Grimstroke just completely bail off that lane. You should have started pressuring that tower top, at least force TPs, and that opens up other objectives on the map. And in bot lane, Shadow Shaman has kind of taken his time, his or her time in the bottom lane. Just kind of like standing here with Underlord. I don't think that really accomplishes much. Just kind of like pulling the wave. I think the Shadow Shaman can actually go to other lanes and just leave Underlord alone. Look, like the Monkey King is hardly in this lane at all, and even if Underlord's alone, it's going to be the same exact story. Now, it might change a little bit because Spiritbreaker's trying to charge the Underlord, But now here's where Shadow Shaman can shine a little bit.
Yep. So it looks like there's going to be a Shack Flash. Schnork able to get a little bit off the Boundless Strike, but not as much as you'd like to see, so he will fall. I do want to make a quick point out right here before this play happens in mid lane. Coer has his ATOS sub 12 minutes on Viper, and he's rushing a Blink right after. Well, I say rushing. He's working on a Blink immediately afterwards. Whether that's going to be a Swift Blink or an Arcane Blink in the late game, you know, we'll have to see, but...
It's gonna. I think it's gonna be a Swift Blink. I think that makes a little bit more sense. But it's kind of like I would much rather have an early game, like kind of like maybe like some stat items on Viper, because we've kind of recognized that the Underlord and the Wraith King in the same draft. Actually, it looks like Underlord's gonna die here.
Oh, Underlord almost got the kill onto, or almost managed to get the Spirit Breaker first, but he is going to trade away for the 3 and 4 of the opposing team, so that's relatively worthwhile, although Shaman dropping wards does mean that there's not going to be a push for a little bit. Hexy over here is fighting Coer up in the jungle, and he's just going to make it there with the armlet toggle of the century.
Yeah, like Atos is an item that you would use to kind of like catch heroes, but without any assisting items, you're literally just a hero with an Atos. You have to kind of work with your team. There's a lot of individually good play on Radiant, but they're not really working as much as a team. The only team play I saw was the very decisive lane swap a few minutes ago. Now they have to start kind of powering through a lane with their strong Viper hero. And I think that, again, okay, so Viper is not buying Blink anymore, going BKB. That does make more sense.
I like that more.
Now you can be a little bit more early oriented and kind of take fights, kind of carry your team to the mid and late game where they're going to succeed. So that makes sense.
Top lane, we are going to see Puck just get completely bolted, although he's maybe going to survive there. Dodge? Yes, he does live just at the end. Might be looking for a turnaround with the Dream Coil. It is available at least. But nah, he says, I don't really want to be here. I want to get myself out. And it looks like top tower is going to be sacrificed. Get a little bit of damage on bottom, but instead, the objective is Little Mermaid here, trying to get some pause 5 farm in the mid lane.
So the Dire saw 4 heroes on the enemy team pushing this top tower. They all showed they were all under vision on the map, and there's nothing happening in bot. Instead, they choose to go in the Shadow Shaman mid. The Shadow Shaman means absolutely nothing in this game.
Yeah, he is gonna fall. They did draw 2 TPs for it, so Kevin and Coher now are sitting under this tower. They didn't keep their own tower for it, unfortunately. That was already gone.
I would have much rather. There was a hero in bot. I would have much rather that hero just kind of powered and pushed that lane and tried to get at least damage. You know, worst case scenario, you get damage, and it's much easier to take the next time you come around. Best case scenario, you get the tower if the enemy team doesn't really want to TP and defend it. But it's a lot of interesting and kind of weird decisions happening with both teams. The Radiant is taking a little bit too long to make early pushes. Like, they have Skeletons from Wraith King, they have Viper the hero, they have Shadow Shaman the hero. They should be able to be taking that top objective at least 5 minutes ago. But they get it at like 14 minutes.
Has changed his build up again.
Okay.
And I like this one a lot more.
Alright, we're going for Greaves. That does make sense. I kind of like that. So you're going for, I think either that or BKB are both items that are absolutely fine. Alright, looks like a little bit of an engage in the Roche pit. He actually pushes Ogre out, but he collects the kill.
Yeah, Tortilla giving vision on that one. I need to go AFK for about 10 seconds. I did not bring myself water. Oh no, I did. Never mind.
Nice, saved. But yeah, so both teams are playing a little weird. Now it's like they're threatening an early Roche here with the Viper. It feels weird. I feel like there's not like an individual shot caller on the Radiant. They're just kind of very disconnected. I feel like an aggressive play in the top lane for them, and maybe like a hero floating around bot to get the XP would actually be really great for them. They'll be able to establish a little bit of control. Oh, it looks like Huskar's going right back into the pit.
Yep, Peacock has his blink, by the way. So they have a puck blink to be working with, and I think you're right, they should be trying to group up and play around that. Maybe they're going to go as soon as this Roche is done.
I can't believe they're going to get away with this Roche. It was pinged out, too. It had to have been picked.
Oh, no! Oh, yes! Jesus. That was the most frightening thing I've seen in a while. Yeah. There it is. He's not going to be able to get the much use out of the Roche, but he did draw at least the snakes out. Going to get rooted up right away, but as soon as that root's over, he should be able to get himself out with the leash. Leap, he does get that, as well as the burning soul away, inner fire away, sorry. He's trying to live, but it just does not matter. He is held down.
actually kind of hurts. So there were 5 heroes on the Radiant committed to that fight. That's a lot of resources committed to it, and it was after getting the Roche as well. But what the Dire decided to do was TP all their heroes to fight that fight, even though it was a fight on really like weird circumstances. I wouldn't say it was necessarily bad because they got the Roche, but their vision was kind of weird. They didn't have vision of the enemy team. They didn't really have their initiator there. Puck was there late. I don't think they try and take that fight at all. Even if they did have Puck, you just kind of
I think you walk out with the Roche and be like, yeah, we have Roche. I will say this this combination of Atos's and the Pit of Malice, 2 Atos's and Pit of Malice on the side of Turdburglars is absolutely dirty.
Yeah.
Like one of the most disgusting things I've seen in a while.
Yeah, it's very, very strong. I do think, actually, if we're talking about Viper items, there is another item that Viper could get that would be really good. Like, why not? It gives you survivability, status resistance. You can man fight the Huskar. You can man fight all the heroes you want, and then you can go like BKB or Aura items after too. All these items are really, really good. It looks like he's gonna settle for Gleipnir. I think that's good too. They're all good. There's a lot of different ways you can build Viper. I just think Blink isn't one of them. I know that's controversial.
I think there are games where it works, but yeah, I don't think this is the game. There's so much mobility on the side of Ape Dota United that it, like you say, I don't see the Blink really working out well for them.
And plus, if a hero was gonna get Blink, a core, it would be like Wraith King, right? Like you already have initiators.
Yeah, Wraith, Underlord, somebody who's got a little, not just a little beef to him, but like survivability.
Yeah, you can make the case for it in a team where you're struggling to start fights, but in this team, no. I think as Viper, your main priority is just to kind of carry your team, or at least just have your team survive until the mid game, and then you'll have like decent enough ground with your team to start scaling and try and win the game from there. Because Huskar doesn't scale. Monkey King has good scaling, but the Huskar is just going to be a wet noodle a little bit later.
Yeah, and I do like that he switched off of that, and I especially like the mech. Like, an early mech just does so much for your ability to try to get that pre-20-minute shrine. Although we're not able to do that this game, I feel like the mech gives you that pre-20-minute shrine more often than not, and that is so huge to get.
Yeah, for sure. We actually have 3 cores in the top lane for Dire. I don't really like that at all, actually, but now Wraith King's going to make it completely worth it. If Wraith King weren't there,
maybe. He has to die twice, and he has the Radiance. There's not quite enough catch. There's going to be the coil. No coil yet. They're just going to hold him in place there with the Monkey King still holding that coil for second life, it looks like. There it goes out. Going to go out on the 3, but all 5 heroes Radiant are here now. It just took so long to kill the Wraith King, and they're just going to turn around, kill the Puck, kill Hexy. And, yeah, that's the problem with trying to kill Wraith.
Yeah, so they try and kill Wraith King, and why were there 3 cores in the top lane? That doesn't make any sense to me at all, because do they really want to try and push that tower? I suppose they do have vision, but at the same time, that's like a very weird area to be. I think much more naturally your team wants to orient, you want to orient around like either the mid lane or the bottom lane. I think bottom lane is kind of like home base for me if I'm playing. Top is just so like out of left field, and they didn't even have their supports there. And even worse than that, even when that fight was obviously a loss, the supports didn't stay in the lanes and push and try and get some sort of a compensation for what was lost, you know? It's just kind of weird. If a team fight's lost, don't like don't like struggle, or don't like trek across the map just to, you know, you'll be at like a cemetery afterwards. You're just gonna like pay your respects. That's pretty much all you're doing if you're running towards a lost fight. You might as well just try and push waves, make stacks do something, plant vision, try and get some sort of value out of the map. So it kind of frustrating to see that, honestly. The top movement was weird, and also the fact that the supports were kind of trekking there after the fight was very obviously lost.
So Snork does have this Ags now on the Monkey King. How does that change the calculus here for how Ape Dota United want to play?
I'm sorry, you said that he's getting Ags?
He has his Ags.
he has his Axe. So he has, like, that's actually, like, pretty decent timing. So let's say you get Tread's Battle Fury. I didn't see the time, but I can assume it's like 14 minutes. Gets the Axe soon after. I think he was a part of a fight too, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong.
It was actually, it was worse than that. The Treads, the Battle Fury came around 15 minutes. Treads didn't come till like 16 and a half, so he got that Axe incredibly quickly.
Yeah, I think his times are actually pretty good this game. But we have to activate this hero at some point. Actually, so they're going actually on a hero in bottom.
Yeah, there's going to be a two-man coil. They know that there's no Wraith King because he's showing this. Might be the opportunity they're looking for. Orb through, and now Schlork, he's in the area. Werger Jaeger SpongeBob gets himself a death as well, and now a blink forward, an orb, and a bunch of right clicks from Hexy and Schlork. That's also the end of the Ogre. Sorry, the end of the Shaman.
See how natural that fight was and how naturally won it was with all these strong heroes like Huskar, Puck, and Monkey King? It just felt so much better. Top felt awkward, but bot feels so much better for them. I really hope they just kind of plant their feet in bottom, make that home base, and then make all their decisions kind of scaling off bottom. Yeah. And I really like that the Grimstroke came top too. You have to defend that tower. You don't want to just let it go for free. That's like the perfect hero to do it. You send your 5 to the top lane. If they go on that hero, they're probably overcommitting resources, and you can just take bottom as a trade instead, and even maybe pressure Axe.
So Hexy does have that 10-second BKB finished up as well. Blink, Yules on Puck. A lot of good items coming out right now for Ape Dota United.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get that wrong every time.
Yeah, I probably will too. I just kind of settled with the Dire at this point. I'm just gonna call him the Dire. But yeah, so I really like that. So they kind of started hitting the tower as a team. They backed off a little early, but again, they didn't really have vision of the enemy team, so it's understandable. I probably would have done the same thing. If you overstay, that's lost. It's a lost game, so that's at least good for them. Now they're coming around mid. Mid's a little weird, but you'll see that Radiant is just kind of dragging their heroes around to meet the Huskar and Monkey King threat. Monkey King's kind of strong enough. They could take fights as long as
Huskar is going to die here from all the stuns. They're going to try to still fight this out at the end. So far, it's Huskar for Shaman. Not the greatest trade yet, but lots of fighting going around here. Tortilla actually gets that. I thought I saw a BKB on him. I guess I was just completely wrong. Looks like now they are going to get those stuns out on the Puck, and he's going to die before he gets the Inkswell off as well. That's a big coup. Mad Dog finds the Inkswell. Sorry, the Stroke of Fate out onto Underlord. And now the only hero left alive is the Monkey King, and he is going to get stunned again. This Fire Blast and Wraith Fire Blast doing so much in that fight.
I think Radiant just had much better vision. They had their tower up, and they also had this ward right here. So they had pretty much like complete vision of that entire fight. And the fight started off without a Huskar. I wouldn't have fought that at all if Huskar was caught out like that, honestly. And the other thing to note here is that Monkey King was very, very close to his BKB. The fight might have even been different if he had his BKB. So as a carry, you usually don't want to fight until you get your item. When you get your item, that's kind of your call out. Okay, we can fight now. This is when we fight. I think the movement to mid from Dire was a little bit awkward as well. It felt forced. It felt like someone made that call, but under like weird grounds. So they were under vision. There were 4 heroes there to defend it. It didn't really make much logical sense to me. Unless they decided to like slow siege it with Huskar, but Huskar got burst right out of the gate. They needed better vision, I think, in order to do that.
So those Greaves are done, as well as the Maelstrom for Kohair. Leaving that in base till he has that Glebner completed, which will come at about 250 gold. Kevin did just finish up his own BKB as well. Werber Jaegerman Jensen has his BKB. Just BKBs all around coming out right now here at 25 minutes for every single hero in this game, it feels like.
Yeah, I think BKB is a good item for both teams. You have 4 heroes that have no BKB piercing anything on Radiant, and also on the other, I mean, you kind of want to have something against the Puck and the Grimstroke as well. BKB is going to obviously be very good. But there's much more BKB piercing on Ape United, Ape Dota United. Not even going to try. But yeah, I mean, BKBs on both teams are absolutely fine. There's much more of a reason to get it for Dire than Radiant for sure.
So it looks like Puck is going to be at least the potential target up here, and yeah, Turdburglars, they are going to decide. We're not going to go for this Puck. We are just going to keep pushing this lane out, force them to come to us if they want to fight, and looks like Ape Dota United don't want to fight very hard. They want to go push out the bottom lane. That's probably right, yep. Extra BKB is just coming out. No ags on the puck yet.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. On what you were saying during the draft phase, extended fights are obviously going to favor the Radiant here. And Dire, they're just going to split up the map and try and find lone heroes. There's a little bit of a charge, but then I think it was very correct on bailing on that charge. I don't think that was good at all. But now we have 5 heroes in the top lane. And that doesn't make much... And they lost the tower. That doesn't really make much sense to me without fighting. It would have been much more useful to be pushing out bot. Puck also... It was a big mistake from Puck. Puck kind of bailed off of that wave. I know there was a Shadow Shaman there, but you should throw your spells at the lane and be kind of a nuisance. Puck is a great nuisance hero. You can clear waves very, very easily. If you delayed that even 30 seconds, then the enemy team is going to be losing their bot tower for nothing. So,
Question.
This is potentially a good
fight. There's going to be a Roche fight. Can I get through the fight? The Gleipnir comes out at the first. That's going to be a 2-man coil to start. Hexy comes in with the BKB. He's able to get 2 kills right off the bat. Now Schmork and Hexy, they're trying to chase down Huskar. Sorry, trying to chase down Underlord. They are going to find him here on the backside, it looks like, but their supports are going to die to the Wraith King and Ogre. Everyone comes together and finds the Underlord is 3 for 2 so far. Only supports are down for the side of Ape Dota United. And now there's going to be kill number 1 out of Hexy here, getting some armlet toggles off. He's going to keep going for these armlet toggle plays. And they're going to find that second kill onto the Wraith King as well. Peacock looks at chasing down the Ogre. Probably is going to decide not to go for it. No, Schmork actually is going to come in. That's going to be the Fire Blast number 1. And that's all he's going to get. Peacock picking up that kill onto Patch. So 5 for 2 and a buyback. And it looks like either mid tower or Roche, whatever Ape Dota United want to go for, is their oyster.
Yeah, Roche makes more sense here because we have Underlord coming up very soon. They also have no wave. So it just doesn't really make sense to sit around mid. So that's obviously much better going for the Roshan. They're going to hit top afterwards, I would assume. Because mid is, even with Aegis, mid is kind of a tough tower to take. I would probably settle for top and maybe scale that into a push or just for trying to control after that.
Yep, and it does look like Tortilla is already charging towards the top lane. So that is, and they have don't have a catapult, but they have 4 range creeps, so that should go down pretty quick. Do you think they go for 2?
This makes sense. Maybe. We'll see. If I were on Radiant, I'd be pushing out another lane because it is hard to defend against Aegis Huskar. You know, usually towers fall. You generally don't want to fight. But if we have an overextension of any sort, oh, I love this.
Yeah, no Tinker wards. So Schmork is free reign. He's coming in, gonna get the ulti off. Gets hexed right away though. Peacock's in here. Gets 2-man coil. There's gonna be the snakes down. Looks like they are able to find the kill off onto Underlord pretty quickly. Mermaid's gonna fall as well. No, he Patch force staffs him out. Friend to help a friend. Now the Monkey King ulti is gone. Tortilla's gonna get shackled up and he is gonna fall. Puck is not in the place he wants to be. Gonna get Hex Fire Blasted. He's Wraith Blasted too, and he is just gonna get completely slain. However, the tower is gonna go down. Aegis is not expended, and pause 1 and 2. Wait, Aegis is not. Wait, who had the Aegis? Where did Huskar die?
I don't know. I don't know either, trust me. I was watching where the fight was happening, and then I heard Aegis pop somewhere, and I was like, okay, that probably shouldn't happen.
Ooh, Huskar going a little aggro here. He has a BKB, so he might be able to find this kill on a Patch, but he's probably going to die afterwards with all this. There's going to be the TP out. 3, 2, 1.
Nice.
BKB does last long enough, and he gets himself away.
Chad move, definitely not worth the 9-second BKB, though. but
the morale damage.
Yeah, the morale damage is definitely worth it. So, okay, so that push on top, they didn't really have vision to do it, and also it was a very weird initiation. Remember, I did say this before, their initiation is going to get a little bit shaky moving into the game, because they don't really, Puck isn't really the greatest initiator, especially against a team that's going to buy BKBs, or are buying BKBs. Puck is going ag, so we'll be a little bit better a little bit later, but it's a lot of resources just to make that hero competent initiator in the mid game. We're even moving to the late game a little soon here. They needed better vision, and also they had a very weird initiation with Monkey King and Puck, and they had an overextension as well. I think it could have been done, but I think maybe if, let's say, an OBS was handed to the Monkey King goes through the trees, places the OBS, and then they can reevaluate the fight from there, I think they would be on much better grounds to win.
So 3 towers down for that Aegis at this point, it looks like. There is maybe going to be a fight out here. Kevin, he's looking for the positioning. And he's going to find it here onto Hexy. Hexy did not get his BKB off in time. There's the BKB going through. Is he going to TP out? No, they're actually going to go for it. That's going to be... Oh, no! He finds the tree and cuts it down. Now there's no BKB hexed up for Monkey King. He is, however, going to come back to life entirely with that cheese. Get that BKB off, and now it looks like Underlord's buying back. However, with the ult coming through, it is going to be a dead Wraith King. Tortilla just barely going to fall here at the end, but that does occupy both Viper and Little Mermaid long enough for Hexy to come back in. Hexy gets hexed up. Now we're going to see another life break coming through shortly. There's the shackle onto Puck. That's really big. Buyback might actually be enough here to ensure the defense, but no. ADU, they're going to go ahead and keep playing aggressively if they can. There's the shackle out. A lot of magic resistant regen here on Hexy. He's got to be careful, but he's going to fall. That Nether Toxin doing the work it's meant to do.
Yeah, that's really smart. They realized that BKBs were down, and that Huskar was low, and that really, like, what are they going to do if you cast spells? You have stuns on every hero on your team. As long as you keep them locked down. Let's say Grimstroke and Monkey King hit Shadow Shaman while Shadow Shaman is hexing. Well, guess what? You have not Wraith King, but you have Underlord, you have Ogre, all these other stuns and lockdown coming out, and the Viper for focus. So I think that was really smart that they turned there. But a lot of map control now coming onto the Dire. It's not like a set game yet, but Wraith King definitely needs items in order to stand ground, because you have Huskar, who's now decently strong. He has a Halberd as well, which is going to help with his team a lot. And Monkey King also getting strong. There's going to be probably another 5-minute window for where Dire is much stronger than Radiant, but the more space that is conceded to Radiant, the harder this game I think is going to get, because it's very hard to push high ground against the Underlord and the Viper, and plus Wraith King is a great carry to have in your game. His scaling is absolutely great. So yeah, let's see how both teams want to play here. Radiant is playing very like aggressive and out, even though they just like lost so many towers, and really they don't really have that much map control anymore.
They have a pretty good vision line coming through, so they at least know what they're getting into.
Yeah, that's true. I'm actually surprised that Dire doesn't have better vision, considering how much more aggressively they've been playing than the Radiant.
Yeah, I think they did have a ward up here that got taken out. Sorry, you can't see if I'm not drawing on map. Up here they got taken out. I'm not sure about this one, although probably they didn't, since that's there. But
top here, yeah, Ogre's just dead. But is Radiant gonna try and turn? I think that's probably.
Yeah, they do still have the coil. Ogre is glimmered. He's forcing himself away, but he might have forced himself in the wrong direction. Underlord ult does pull him away, so Ogre's definitely dead, just working to make as much space as he can, and he is succeeding in that. More glimmer.
Yeah,
he really wants to try to draw an ult.
That's Ogre's like being such a player. He just took what 20 to 30 seconds of the entire Dire team.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Now if the Radiant definitely missed on the opportunity to get the solo Huskar mid. I think that's actually like game losing mistake. Ogre made so much space, and it wasn't really so Underlord was pushing bottom, sure, but what were the other 3 heroes on his team doing? I think there was a lot of opportunity on the map that was just completely missed out on. Personally.
Yeah, he made a lot of space for it entirely, for sure. It does look like we have a couple more items coming out, by the way. That Scepter is now done on Puck, and Puck got the Puck item, the neutral item, the Psychic Headband. You coil someone, and then you push them away. That's nasty.
Nice. Very nasty in the early mid-game, but it might... Well, actually, we'll see what happens.
He has the Aghanims as well, so it'll be the BKB breaker.
Well, yeah, but you can't force staff a BKB guy.
True, but if you get the 4-staff off before he gets the BKB off, then...
That's true. Then that would be very useful, but it's very niche. That's like having it's like having Tusk as an initiator. It's a very like weird. It's just weird. It doesn't feel right. So if it happens, then great. Just like Tusk is initiator in some games, sure, but it's just so weird, and you need like. A certain criteria has to be fulfilled for you to actually have a good initiation, which is not good.
Whoever peeps this DD rune, and it is Peacock the one who finds it.
That's big. They should probably fight on that, or like smoke and fight.
Yeah,
but
Roche
now here's
not
the thing:
up yet.
Radiant knows that they don't mind playing the scaling game, and plus their map control is a little weird right now. They don't mind playing the scaling game, and the high ground defense is very,
they have a
very,
lot of really strong items on their supports right now as well. They have 2 Force Staffs, Aether Lens, and Glimmer Cape.
I want to see halberds on every hero. I think that's the game-winning. You have a 2 position or 1 position that rely completely on their auto attacks. Why not get the item that stops auto attacks? Especially because it's 5 seconds on Huskar. That's crazy. It's game-winning. Is there any halberds actually? There's no halberds
yet. There's going to be a jump in by Smork. He gets the BKB off. He's going to throw his ulti as well. That is the big ulti, it looks like. Has that level 25 Wukong ring. And now that's going to be the end of Little Mermaid. He's going to buy back right away. First death out on the Wraith King. Kevin now going to try to walk it out. He's going to give out a lot of damage with the Radiance and the Cloak of Flames. And now Puck, he's held in place with the Root. He's got to get himself out with a Blink. Is he going to fall? It looks like he will. Buyback from Huskar here. Tortilla was getting a charge in, but is going to have to back that away. That high ground push disastrous for Ape Dota United.
Yeah, they didn't have Aegis for that, did they? Am I crazy?
No, Roche is not up yet. Roche is up in... Oh, they changed this clock again.
Yeah, I don't even
90 seconds?
They've changed it. They've changed it so many times.
I think.
But the moral of the story is here is that they did not give enough respect to the enemy team's ability to defend towers. Whereas honestly, there's like 1 core at this point. There's like 1 core on the Radiant team. It's a scary core. It's Wraith, but you can have like 3 cores farming against that guy and wait for the opportune timings here instead of trying to force these towers down at a very weird point of the game. So again, the more time that passes, Radiant is going to feel a little bit better and better because their high ground's so great and Wraith King has great scaling. But that doesn't mean you throw bodies into towers. You have to find like a very weird way of, or not a weird way, but a unique way of actually taking high ground. So talking about Dire's team, we know that the team fight aspect is obviously going to be in Radiant's favor here, but Dire, they have like pretty strong pick-off between all their heroes. They should utilize that and just play the map. Whenever you see heroes split, you go for, you make your decision on what group you want to go on, whether it be like the 2 heroes here or the 3 heroes here, or if you see 5 heroes in one lane barreling down, you have to be split pushing. And then when the enemy team breaks up, that's when you evaluate and try and work with your team. Like, you don't just play 5v5 team fights with every team lineup. You have to find a unique way to play.
Oh, that might have. We're gonna see how this plays. There's the jump in with the spell off from the Inkswell. There's gonna be the Wukong command coming out with the extra ring. Hexy coming in, getting that ult off onto Viper, and Cohair will fall, not before getting his ult off in return. However, Wraith King, he's gonna get his first death down. So far, the buyback is coming in from Viper. Viper CPing back into behind this fight, into these snakes, and he's gonna have a pretty good time of that. It looks like Monkey King is gonna fall to an ether shock of all things. And now there's going to be still maybe some turnaround, double stuns coming through, break, halberd, and that's going to be the second death on the Wraith King. Hexy will die for it. 3 for 2, bunch of cores going down. It was a buyback, sorry, 2 for 4. So definitely positive play for ADU.
On paper, it's better for Dire, but you could argue, you could make the argument that the time that's passing is going to benefit Radiant. I think it was very, very, very slightly better for Dire, just because the Viper made the buyback and the fight was very sloppy. But really, that fight was just because Radiant got way too cocky and went very far away from their base. They can play the game as passively as they want, and I think they'd have a decent position in the game. But they decided to go outside, and I think their vision was also very weird. It was a very pretty initiation by the Monkey King, but again, this is the same thing we were talking about during the draft phase. Is like, their initiation, they don't have initiation really, which makes their mid and their late game very weak. And Radiant has very strong initiation on like all their heroes. You can even get Blink Dagger on Ogre, and that could be a competent initiator, whereas every hero on I'm just gonna say the Dire, I'm not gonna remember the correct way of saying the name.
All uphill into death from Tortilla.
Yeah, that's a wet noodle type of hero. I really don't like Spirit Breaker. I think there's so... Was that the 4 in this game? I think their 5 has a better score than their 4, and I don't think it's Tortilla's fault at all either. I just think that's like a wet noodle type of hero. I mean, if you like wet noodles, that's fine, but I don't. I like I like strong heroes.
I was gonna say, where are you gonna go with that?
I have no idea where I was gonna go with it. I just had to, you know, get out. I had to get out of wherever I was digging myself a hole. But yeah, so Radiant's like playing around. I think Triangle's like if they're gonna go out of their base, Triangle is probably a better place to defend. It's very hard to take because you're going through a series of high grounds if you want to take it. Now we're going for actually the last fighter on Roche, but
no, Hexy smoked into the pit, but there's an illusionist cape from Wraith King scouting that out.
4v5 too. Where's the blink daggers on Radiant? They have no blink dagger. That's such a missed opportunity. Even blink on what? Shadow Shaman, on Ogre, anything like that.
Viper maybe?
Caught the Huskar out. What'd you say?
Viper maybe?
Not Viper. Anyone but Viper. But yeah. Oh, okay. They actually ended up catching these heroes anyway because.
Oh no, he went back in. Oh, that's greedy as hell. He doesn't want to use his BKB.
So
Gets
greedy.
forced out by Mad Dog.
Now imagine if they had a blink dagger on any hero. Just pursue the Huskar, take a 4v5 fight, and that would be so good. Man,
I do think at this juncture, it's worth having a Blink on Viper, especially since Blink is a scaling item now. Like, the Hex is good,
yeah, you can make
but
that.
I think a Swift Blink would do so much for you. Like, that Blink Viper Strike going through BKB.
Yeah, for sure. You can make the argument at this point in the game, but as an initiator, so Swift Blink is a good item, but I would rather another hero with a stun be the initiator than Viper, personally. But I think like any of the 4 other heroes with Blink Dagger would be so strong, and then you can also scale on those heroes. Like overwhelming Blink on Wraith King would be really good. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten it.
Oh, Peacock blinking in, gets the Ink Swell, but he does not want to be any more aggressive than he already was. Once again, 8th Dota United going into the pit.
Yeah, but Radiant's throwing abilities in. This is so rough.
I think they're gonna find it though. There's the BKBs, the Wukong's commands, and Hexy is gonna pick up that Aegis. G's going on to Hexy as well. There's a refresh or an Ag shard somewhere. I didn't see what got picked up for the last one. This is 3rd Roche, right?
I don't know.
Or was it 2nd Roche? It was 3rd Roche. They already had G's.
That's the
So
third,
who got the Ag synth? Huskar did. No, Monkey King did. No, he already had it.
No, let's see.
No.
They changed it.
Ooh, wait.
Hold on. Who has it? Who has it?
I think.
No, wait. He
bought his own eggs. He bought his own eggs.
I have no idea then.
Puck?
Oh, refresher on Monkey. Okay.
Oh, it was refresher. Okay. Not accent,
next
just a refresher.
Yeah. I also made that mistake. But
So
imagine
it's
if, like,
weird to
someone
me.
blinked into the pit.
Yeah, it's weird to me. 3rd Roche, I feel like, is so swingy because if you have an accent for 3rd Roche right here, like that's 2,500 gold on any hero. They already have their Ags, but it's still 2,500 gold on any hero. Like,
Yeah.
or on Huskar, getting a taunt on your life break, that's huge.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's good for all their heroes pretty much. But here's the thing. Like, imagine a blink. Just like imagine a Wraith King blinking into that pit. How that would be so bad for.
Oh yeah, that would be unplayable.
Yeah, but they have all these like. They have all these heroes that were like Underlord tried walking into the pit, but you don't do that. Walking in a pit, like they see what's coming, they can plan and calculate for it. You have to kind of break things up, or even like a blink onto the backline. Imagine if they made some sort of smoke play, wrapped around, kill the backline. Roche falls to the Monkey King, sure, but now it's like 4v2, 5v2, something like that. I don't know. There's many ways to play that. I think that was so weird. And it probably shouldn't have happened. But I think Radiant's gonna play high ground. They're gonna play very, very passive. We'll see if it works out. I mean, with that draft, I think they have a decent position in pretty much this entire game. They have a lot of kite potential, a lot of high ground defense, and also you have kind of like heroes like Huskar and Monkey King as the 2 main cores. As long as you get halberds or something to deal with them, they're not really gonna they're not really gonna be heroes later in the game. And they pick up the Shadow Shaman, sure, but I think Shadow Shaman has buyback, so everything's all good.
I mean, he'd like to be spending that buyback on, looks like, Aeon Disc. I can see that. Like, if you're able to get your snakes off, right, they do damage even if you can't.
Ion Disc. I guess that's okay. I wouldn't be opposed. I think... What other... I'd get Halberd. I'm sorry. I have to stick with my beliefs here.
I saw this wrong. Puck, Peacock, actually got a Wind Waker, not an Arcane Blink, which I thought is what he was going for. So, you know, it's the Aeon Gold. You already have the Yules and the Blink. Which one do you think you go for?
I think Arcane Blink is like just objectively better on Puck personally.
Oh, here we go, the fight coming in, Hexy, BKBing, Aegis up on the high ground. That's a lot of commitment. Now he's rooted. They might find this first kill, dodging a couple of attacks because no MKB. They do have the Gleipnir. Yules up? Ooh, the allied Yules. That was actually pretty big. And now Hexy able to walk away.
I don't think it's that bad, but that item, it's what, one of the most expensive items in the game? It's like, you could have gotten, and I hate to say it, a Halberd here.
Okay, there's the Monkey King Wukong commandering. He has the refresher shards. He's going to use it a second time. BK being up for the first one. The Link is out. Ooh, the Puck snap actually comes through onto Viper there, giving them the opportunity to get at least the first kill for free out onto the Wraith King. Now Slork is going for the second Wukong commandering. Is able to find that. Able to get the Abyssal off as well onto Claire. He's trying to get through, even through the root, and he's going to be able to find that kill. That's number one. No buyback on Viper currently. There's almost a dead Underlord sitting in the backline. Charge in, but immediately just going to get destroyed by these Fire Blasts and Ether Shocks on Tortilla. Now Kevin blinking forward. 17 seconds till he has a second life. But we already have used the first life on Hexy here. He's going to get held now. Fire Blast into Shackle, into not even needing the Hex or anything else, because Shackle lasts so goddamn long. 7 seconds.
He's cheesed there too. Huskar cheesed.
The Huskar did cheese at some point.
Yeah, that was just like a push into Radiant's high ground. We all know that Radiant's high ground is absolutely disgusting. I guess the Puck item did work for like half a second, but it worked like once, and the force staff accomplished the...
And now the whole team getting bust over here into the Radiant high ground by Werber Jaegerman Jensen, cutting off an extra like 20 seconds of respawn time.
Yep, this is looking pretty good. It's going later into the game. Radiant's getting stronger and stronger. The Dire know they can't really push against the enemy team. It's looking very good for Radiant here, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, if they can make something happen here in this high ground, there are not a whole lot of buybacks available. Well, I lied actually. Pretty much all the buybacks are available.
They're choosing not to push. That's kind of... I guess they don't have Shadow Shaman wards, but that's kind of weird. I guess it makes a little bit of sense. They have no pressure. They have no pressure to really rush this game at all. I think they can play it at whichever pace they want. So I'm absolutely fine with them doing this. I probably would have gotten a little bit of chip damage on top if I were them, because they had a little bit of time before the Spearbreaker came up, and they just had number advantage until that happened. But I'm absolutely fine with them playing it safe.
And that is a lane of Rax in favor of Turdburglars to start out this series at 50 minutes, finally breaking the high ground.
Nice. But that's most of. I mean, a lot of the Immortal games, they all look pretty much exactly like this too. It's very hard to push high ground ever since they made Fort like this absolutely insane ability that you can use on both teams. It's just like, I don't know. The game got so much harder to play, and I feel like they go later and later. And you have all these. Oh, looks like they're going on bottom here. I think Spearbreaker
was that that was a 9-second BKB too.
Ow. Why? Why did he pop BKB? Anyway. Yeah, I think there are... I think just the way Fort is, and also the towers give like armor and health regen and all that stuff, it makes it so hard to take towers. And if it's hard to take towers, and you have people who are bound to not pick tower pushers or something like that, you have games that go to like 60 minutes every time, 50, 60 minutes. I think it's much better than when it was like 20-minute Dota like 4 years ago, but it's still kind of weird. It's just weird. Yeah, so it's just gonna be, we're just gonna be pretty much observing like late game play on both teams. I think Radiant has a slight advantage at this point.
Ooh, Mermaid knows he just got popped on that smoke. Oh, and he missed. No using the BKB though.
Yeah, I love Axe Shard on Lucky King. I think it makes that hero so strong.
Yeah, Tree Dance just like jumping every what, half a second?
Yeah, it's crazy, and also the animation for you to get onto trees is very smooth and easy. It's very hard for heroes to target you. Like, you actually have technically periods of invincibility, and it's very easy to cast it and get that get the ability off.
Oh yeah, you have a 0.75 second invulnerability and then a 0.1 second cast point.
Yep, it's kind of insane.
What happens if you get hit while you're jumping into a tree? Or when if you get stunned while you're jumping into a tree? Do you fall down off the tree? How does it work?
No, you're stunned in the tree.
Ah, okay.
So the Wraith King blast following the Monkey King, he'll complete the jump, but then he'll just be stunned sitting on top of the tree.
Got it.
So both teams just mimicking, but the big mistake. Why is Puck not top de-pushing that wave? Now the Shadow Shaman's close. You'll be able to put down wards and skeletons. Let's pop it, pop it, pop it. Yeah. Big mistake. They could have just cleared that wave, and that would have not happened at all. I would actually even be okay with Puck getting like BKB or something like that.
So, Dark Portrait as a skill, what does it do? If I've never read it before.
It doesn't make like a copy of a hero, and the copy is like absolutely. It does like an incredible amount of damage and just shred.
So it looks like 50% extra damage and 30% extra move speed.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And you make a clone of the enemy Wraith King or the Viper, which are both strong heroes at this point. So I think it's vital. I'm glad that he got it.
You have to go Wraith, right? Because Viper does some right-click damage, but like he's really dependent on that poison attack to catch people. I guess he has the bonus move speed, so I guess he's less dependent on it.
Well, you also get the corrosive skin. He has an incredible attack time. He gets a lot of attacks, and he's pretty strong. But then again, you get the radiance from Wraith King. I'd probably go.
Do you get any spells? No, it's just an ink illusion. What does that mean? Is it just an illusion made out of ink, or is an ink illusion a special thing? We'll find out later.
I think it's a special thing.
Oh no, another 8-second BKB charge used over here. Tortilla trying to make something happen off of it, but...
Yeah, they just overcommitted, plain and simple. It gets away with it. 5 heroes dragged. Opens up space in the bottom lane. If I were Puck, I would be in the bottom lane right now. But maybe they don't see it. Maybe I'm just crazy. But there's like 5 heroes in the top lane. Yep.
Can you Dark Portrait and Illusion? Similar to like Shadow Demon.
I would assume so. Again, I don't know. I've never used the ability. I have friends that, you know, play Grimstroke all the time. I'm sure they would know, but I just don't know the specific interactions. And again, we missed an opportunity. Oh man, Dire missed like 3 opportunities to just de-push the wave. That's like a great mechanic in the game. Just de-push the wave, either with Grimstroke or Puck or anything, man.
Yep. Oh, the bash and the Abyssal as he's coming out with the Boundless Strike. Now he's rooted up as well. Big charge forward. Everyone's going to get bussed back. The whole team gets taken away.
Yep, and the game's going to go on now for another probably 5 minutes. Oh, actually Roche is Roche is up, which means both teams should have their eyes on it. So we'll see what happens. But the game just got extended a little bit longer, for sure. At this point, though, all right, let's see what the halberd status is. Their ability to win scales with how many halberds they have. They still have 0 halberds, and that's awful game recognition.
Hexy has a halberd. Or are you talking about 8? No,
I'm sorry about Radiant. I mean, but it's good on both teams, but Radiant, it's especially good because both heroes utilize auto attacks on Dire. But it looks like a little bit of a fight's happening. Grimstroke's going down.
Yeah, so we have now the Wukong Command Ring. Who's going to get it? Hexy gets the Aegis. A bunch of other shit on the ground. Cheese not even picked up. Death number 1 on Wraith King. Buyback on Grimstroke. Is he pinging his Shrine? Going to get in there. Hexy, he's going to burn his level 1 Aegis, it looks like. And he is eventually going to fall inside of that Nether Toxin. Nether Toxin has expired at this point. That's the end of Viper on the backside. And a buyback from Ogre. Wraith King falls. Does have buyback available. Snorky's looking to try to find another kill off this, jumping forward, and it looks like he may be able to grab Mermaid. There's going to be a sentry down for the Glimmer, but they're just going to take this building, take the safe option, it looks like. Buyback on Wraith King means I want to play a little bit safer.
Alright, the way I'm going to actually evaluate this game is that the Radiant's ability to win is consistent with how many Hobbits they have. They still have 0, so I'm going to place their ability to win at like slightly above 0.
Oh, there's the Shackle out into Hexy. He did already burn his Aegis, has a cheese available, but the Shackle lasts so long. BKB, Wukong Command refresh, it looks like, on Snork, but there's still backdoor protection. There are no creeps coming in because it's not gonna, not gonna balance on its own.
Yep, can't push high ground against these heroes.
Means BKB used, Wukong's used, everything, trying to get on that high ground, but no creeps, no dice.
I am kidding, by the way. Radiant obviously have a very good chance in this game, but they're missing an opportunity. They're missing like the biggest opportunity that could ever present itself.
So what is Dire's singular mechanic? What's their predictor?
What's that? What's their singular predictor? I think if they're able to just split up the Radiant team, I think they're really, really strong. Or if they're able to kill the Viper right away.
So
in that
deep push wave cut.
Oh yeah, that's actually another thing they have. You'll see that the Radiant are like grouping all together, literally not going any heroes. If you're on the Dire, you have to.
Oh, Hexy, he's getting Abyssal. He has the cheese, but he's gonna get fire blasted for a long time. There's gonna be the root keeping the charge from coming through. Hexy will fall, and does not have buyback. 2k gold away from it. Did get that overwhelming blink instead. And now high ground, they're going to try to force out the buyback, but once he doesn't use it... Oh no, here we go. Oh no. Peacock, you had the split, you had the wave capture.
Yep, he had it. Missed a big opportunity again. So when you pick heroes like Puck, and even Monkey King, like a big mechanic of their hero, much like, you know how Jakiro would macro pyre a wave? Oh, they're actually... Okay, Spirit Breaker cancels. That's a good idea. Much like a big mechanic, a known interaction mechanic of Jakiro is to macro pyre the wave to clear it. You have to understand that heroes like Void Spirit, heroes like Puck, they have like a great ability to clear the wave so that pushes stop. You have to use that, or else it's like not macro pyring the wave as Jakiro. It's just like, why would you not? You know? That's just my 2 cents. So it's gonna be 60 minutes. Next, jump
new item set coming up. We do have a Divine.
We have level 30s coming up on a lot of heroes too, which is gonna change things up.
Snowlork has picked up that Divine Rapier, by the way.
I think that's good. I think that's necessary. I think both teams should actually pick it up. I think if Viper got it instead of Scythe, I think that would actually be really strong. Like his team has plenty of lockdown. You don't have to. I know Scythe is just just a good item, but
Radiant got a Ballista.
Oh, yikes! That's just like that's kind of nasty. But here's the fight. They're
trying to get this kill on Wraith King right away. Dust just outside of range. Snork is gonna try to kill this guy with this Divine, but it's not enough. 3 seconds is all it takes, and the bus goes home.
Yep, and Radiant standing on high ground like they should with the Ballista, and game's gonna go another 10 minutes, or until next rush probably.
Oh man, just like a hair faster. If they had... Oh, there's the Fallen Sky. That's huge. That's a big item.
Especially huge for Dire because they have no initiator. They put that shit on Puck. Puck is able to initiate, be absolutely fine. Have 2 initiations technically, so I think that's really good. They should get that.
Stygian Desolator? Ballista? Jesus. Okay, Ballista goes on Hexy.
Yeah.
What is a Giant's Ring? I've never seen this.
Oh,
40
that's the new
strength,
item.
60 movement speed, and 60% model scale. Free pathing?
Yeah,
Wait.
and
This is
also
just an
it
item
goes-
that gives free pathing? Excuse me?
Yeah, why not? I mean, they had an item that just plays trees, so why not?
The Woodland Striders were so much fun, though. They were bad, but they were fun.
Yeah, but it gives you model scale. How can you say that's not fun? You're literally huge.
Free pathing as an item, Jesus. That's
Plus,
crazy.
It's 40 strength. That's
That too.
800 health and 40 damage for Wraith King. It's pretty good.
Not even just, but also if you're standing on someone with your free
Yeah.
pathing, you deal a shit ton of damage.
172. It actually doesn't say if it's magic or what kind of damage it is, which is
That's
kinda
a
weird,
good point.
but-
Good point. I would assume it's
but-
magic damage, but
Yeah,
strength
so
per
it's like
second.
130 per second. That's crazy. Plus radiance.
Crazy.
Okay, so Shadow Shaman making a good move here, but nope. Why are we not defending base with Radiant's strong team? Why do they feel the need that they have to be over there? You have a Viper and an Underlord and all these heroes. The last time
Oh
they
no,
tried
here's
to
the root out.
fight their team-
They have the Stygian Desolator and the Rapier. Is it going to be enough? There's the Wukong's command with the bonus armor. Wagerman Jensen, he gets bashed. 1, 2, 3 right clicks, not enough. Now Shlorky's BKB is over, but the Viper dies so fast. There's 4 of these illusions that are made by the Aghanims for Snlork, and whenever anyone walks in, he just dies. Hexy going in forward as well. This might be a little bit greedy, but he still has some regen. Is he going to make it? Nah, he's going to fall.
Nice.
Held together for way too long between the Shackle, the Hex. I mean, you can get Shackle, Hex, Shackle, can't you? Like, it's even worse than
I
that.
think so.
Are you looking at this cooldown right now? Look at this Shackle
On-
cooldown. Between the
10
Octarine core and the talents and all that.
Yeah. 10 seconds. Then you you could.
Oh, no,
do-
not 10 seconds. Look at it again.
for the cooldown. It's 10
Look at his
seconds.
cooldown.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It says 10. Maybe it's a bug. on
Does
my-
it? It's 7.5 for me.
Yeah, it's probably just something on my screen. But yeah,
Alright.
so he can technically infinitely shackles. I think that
All
that
he
sounds
needs...
about right to me.
Wait, I think... Hold up. There's a misplay here. There's a Spell Prism. Radiant had a Spell Prism. Permanent Shackle.
I don't think that's. Well, that sounds nice, but I don't think it's a misplay. I think I'd rather have the Smoke of Deceit on Shadow Shaman.
Well, it's
as
also
well.
4 snakes every 6 seconds.
But as a support, if you survive past the initial engagement, that's like that's just lucky.
Okay.
Honestly, if you cast 2 sets of spells, it's very lucky. You usually just get your 1 kit and you're dead.
He does
By the way,
have
the Shadow
Aeon
Shaman
Disc
took
and
the bottom
3000
rounds.
HP. Oh, he took the Spell Prism. He's listening.
No.
5 minutes in the
no.
past, he's listening.
I would have rather had the smoke personally. But yeah, so the Shadow Shaman took the bottom racks while that happened. So this is actually perfect. And plus Viper did not buy back, which was very great. So now he still has it. His team's in a great position. I would still say it's slightly Radiant favored. No halberds yet.
So
It's just like the best item. I don't. It's like not building BKB against a Puck, a Tidehunter, like insert X magic heroes. It's just weird. Like why wouldn't you?
So I have a question. Your name is Wraith King, and you choose an upgraded Blink. What color do you go for?
I actually think that's fine. What he did.
The Swift
I
Blink?
don't think there's.
All right.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's fair. I was just curious, which one do you go for?
I think both of them have merit. It's just he felt like he needed this game. I personally like the HP.
This
You get the
free
25
padding.
strength from it, and it works a little bit better with you as well. But I think this is fine as well. So I can't really. I mean, they're both great late game items. I would personally go Overwhelming Blink, but I've seen stupider stuff that does better. So
Yeah, so he did go ahead and keep that Giant's Ring. They switched it around a couple of times. They gave the Apex to Wraith King for a little bit and put the Giant's Ring on Werber Jaegerman Jensen.
no, I think the Giant String is better than the Apex for sure.
Yeah. Like, that free padding is just... That's ludicrous.
And the move speed. He's running at 500 move speed as a Wraith.
Yeah, that too.
He can get wherever he needs to get. It's just, and he gets the damage from the giant split. It's just like,
he's going Rapier next as well, so there's gonna be 2 Rapiers here in the game. Yes, Lork lived. Okay.
But what item is he gonna swap? That's the question. All of his items matter.
Yeah. I mean,
probably the BKB.
Since you have the Giant's Ring for Aegis, you probably give up the bots, right?
No, I think that's a mistake. I think you would give up BKB personally.
So here's the next Roche fight. Number 5? I think it's 5th Roche. Oh, there it goes in. We're Jägerman Jensen. He's going to be the target initially. Now a 2-man coil. They do get the snap onto Underlord, looking for the Hex turnaround, actually. Onto Little Mermaid. There's going to be Snork on the other end, getting everyone down low with, or doing everyone out rather, with that Wukong's command. Now they're going forward onto Koer. If he's able to get to him, 1, 2, 3 more hits. That's going to be it. Now looking for Mermaid, who has put a bajillion snakes on the ground, but it's not enough. Hexy is hexed. He's going to be able to come back though with the Satanic. Gets etherealed somehow. But a million buybacks coming through all over the shop. And it looks like so far this fight is very heavily favored for ADU. And they're going to take all of these, I think. The buybacks coming through as well, but that's going to be the end of Wraith King. Only buyback left here is on Ogre, and still almost a full suite of buybacks on Ape Dota United. This Roche goes their way, and I assume Snilork holds the Aegis since he does have that Rapier. Nope, it looks like Hexy's taking it again. What are they doing here for everything else? Oh, Kevin blinks in. He's going to try for the play. He's got the reincarnation, picks up some of the stuff, gets the Aegis synth, but he's going to fall once. There's the blink in from Puck. He's able to get the 2-man Dream Coil, it looks like. Now the charge forward. There's another Toxin inside the pitch. They got to be careful of that. Rooted up now that BKB is gone. Doesn't matter. Has the Rapier and the Aegis. Sorry, Aegis was expended. But that's still 3 heroes dead, 2 diebacks on the side of Turdburglar. And yeah, looks like we may finally have a victory condition for one of these teams satisfied.
Yep, I'm going to continue saying it. I know it's very tiring to hear, but I'm sure like two halberds, 3 halberds, there's no damage left on the enemy team, no matter how many rapiers they get if you just halberd their heroes, right? I don't think that's crazy to say, but yeah, I think Radiant had this game. That's very weird. But Dire... It's good. It's a good thing they prioritized Roche. I think there were a few instances Radiant could have got Roche, but this is just an easy GG.
Yeah, there's a Rapier on the ground somewhere near the Roche pit as well. It looks like Wraith King did buy his Rapier, but nobody picked it up after he died.
Nice.
But yeah, GG, well played. Long game, 70 minutes, and we still have another one to go. Ape Dota United and Turdburglars both playing quite well. And we'll go ahead and get ourselves ready here for game 2.
Well, you just watched a bunch of